Woohoo! Hey, welcome to Hex Token channel. Hope you guys are having a blast out there. Man, oh man, we've got lots to get into today, of course. We're going to be looking at, of course, the Hex price. We're going to look at PulseX results, plus the closing day for 48. We're also going to be looking at liquidity pools, Uniswap, and how that works. This is a beginner's guide and how you can monitor those APY yields as well. And, of course, we're going to be looking at the Hex Nascar as well. So it's going to be pretty cool. Hope you guys enjoyed the content today. Don't forget to subscribe, like, hit the bell, and of course, if you haven't joined the channel, hit the join button. We've got Pulsechain, Hexkins, and the Richard Hart Club, and let's get into it for that. So it sounds like the audio is up and running, and let us go for that. I'm going to put that on mute and get into the chat here. Let's see who's in the house today. Of course, we've got a few people. We've got obviously Fish Tank is in first. Well done there. Woohoo! I love it. I love the attitude of Fish Tank. Very cool. And was it undefeated champion, says Fish Tank. Nice one. And of course, you are the champ. You are the champ. Now, Easy's in the house. Bam, wham, whoa. I think we're single-handedly defining the use of language in this channel worldwide. I think it's going to be quite the phenomenon. Easy's in the house. Smash the likes. Definitely smash the likes. Mr. A's there. Woohoo! Question, what would be a better play? Lock up liquid loan, sacrifice points for 24 months, or no lockup, start staking loan from day one. Your thoughts and why? I personally am in the second camp, but the way I like to do it is actually, if I was doing a sacrifice, I'd actually have it's scaled into all those periods. That's the way I would do it. I like flexibility of a staking ladder or a sacrifice ladder, and that's probably what I would do. To get the best of both worlds. I do like having a flexibility of earning the APY upfront on the platform, being able to take that out if I need to do it. And of course, this I think I really like this project, but it's not a Richard Hart project, so I take that into account. So there we are. A sacrifice ladder is probably my compromise in that position. Otherwise, I would probably be in session 2 there. And you said, ask what's your thoughts and why. The why is for that flexibility, but of course, by doing a sacrifice ladder, I pretty much get that flexibility and the upside as well from the longer stakes. So either of those two fits perfectly well for me. Hope that answered your question there, Mr. A. Greg says, get the bin tanks out. We're ready. I like that. That is the attitude that I love. I love that. Well done, Greg. And I'm sure Matt is going to like that too from Bali. Brendan's in the house. Woohoo! Hey, Brendan, love it. Love the chant there. And of course, this is the channel anthem now. Alex Fame says, and lift off Hex Token. Absolutely, Alex Fame. Tierra's in the house, 1 minute countdown. Of course, we've started now. We are live. So it's great to be here. Brazolji's in the house. I'm here and on time. Hey, well done, Brazolji. We have noticed that you've been a little bit late the last couple of days, but we knew that you were going to get back on track with that one, Brazolji. To be fair, Brazolji's very busy. I think he's moderating on maybe 20 channels, so it's probably the case. Hey, Brazolji. Welcome. And got the woohoos in there as well. Vin's in the house. Whoa. Hey, whoa. It reminds me of Bill and Ted's Most Excellent Adventure. Whoa. I love it. And we got Brownies in there too. 4K TV on. Check. Bintang's ready. Check. Woo. I think Matt's going to be our source of supply for those Bintang beers from the sounds of it. And Lol says Brazolji. G'day, says Paul. Hey, g'day. Good to see you, Paul. As we like to say, g'day, mate. How you doing? Put another shrimp on the barbie. That's what the Aussies say. With the thicker accent there. Hex4 says, let's do this. Woohoo! And hey, SKB, wow, the first Hex Token channel member in the house. Been a while, and good to see SKB in the house. I feel the need for speed. I love it. And who we got? Solex in there. A GM dual start tomorrow for Daytona. Yeah, that sounds awesome. So Solex, we're definitely going to be watching that, and we will be talking about that. And I'm just going to open up some of the stuff I've got for that now. Actually, that's why you remind me. So. Hopefully those will all open up. And that's it. Yeah, there we go. Let's open up number 3 and number 4. Yeah, very cool. All right, so we've got that coming up. What day is it? The 15th. The 15th coming up. So practice is on for the Daytona on the 15th. So that's coming up within the day. I always got to remember that I'm in the future here in New Zealand. We're probably a good day ahead of most people in the north there. So it's just the way it goes. As Spice goes, woohoo! Hey, Spy, great to see you in the chat. And number two member on this channel. Very cool. Brennan says, will you sack for Gerardo's new project? Sacrifice starts in 2 days. Now he's doing a fork of OpenSea, right? OpenSea. Yeah, I probably won't be doing that, Brenton. But once again, I'm pretty much sticking to the Richard Arts and liquid loans. That won't be for me, Brenton. Solex says, like in New Zealand, they say, whoo, mean, bro, mean. And yeah, mean, bro. And Sandip's in house, let's make a beautiful world. Absolutely, Sandip. I love those sentiments there, all the way from Calcutta, India. Great stuff, Sandeep. All right, so cool. Let's have a look at the Hex price now. And of course, let's get into it. So here we're on the daily chart. This is the version 3 pool on Uniswap. And of course, this is Hex USDC. Just to give you context there. Let's scroll out of here and take a bigger bird's eye view. I love doing that stuff. That's a bit like the Matrix. But we're going to scroll it out as well. So let's have a look here. So this is where we're at the moment. We want to break out of this range here, but we're going to get rid of all the structure first and then talk about the Bollinger Bands. Obviously, the top 95% is the top blue line, and the bottom 5% is the bottom 5% of prices. In the middle, we've got the 50% line of prices, and of course, at the moment, our price has moved back down from the top of the range down into the middle. And of course, our volumes are still relatively light. This is just one pair, of course. There are 4 pairs on Uniswap, 2 USDC and 2 Ethereum. But once again, this is where it's at the moment. So 19.7 cents at the moment. Can we get a green candle during this live show? That's what we all we tried to see if we can deliver on that, and we'll see whether we can do it today. Hey, it's just gone green, just as I said it. Oh my gosh, the magic touch. The words are spoken, and there we are. There it is. So that's the beginning of the universe right there happening right now. All right, so cool. And let us put over the overlay there. We're going to add in the overlay again, come back and do our big triangle here. And we're waiting for a big breakout at some stage. We're due, I think, some big one, but we're obviously going to have to be a bit more patient as we go. We definitely want to try and break out of this resistance up here, this orange top line, and that's where we want to be. So we're going to zoom in there at the moment. We have not hit our 18.6 cent support line, and we definitely haven't got near the 16 cent support line either. So we're still looking pretty good, but we are heading in the direction that I indicated, what was about 5-6 days ago, is still in play there. So we're still heading towards that direction and waiting for a move up. So this might end up getting translated over to the right, as I say, but we'll just have to wait and see. We are got a few indicators that can give us some help about where the price might be. And of course, now we're going to zoom in closer here to the bull flag. Of course, this bull flag can last about 3 weeks long. That's kind of typical a period, of course. And I've got that ending out here. So I'll take that into account. Let me just get rid of the old slider. The banners are probably interrupting some of the view there. So hopefully that helps. Now the date's disappeared, but we'll keep going with it. Actually, we might refresh. Just get to pull the date up just so you guys can see the dates. Otherwise, it's a little bit hard if I'm talking about it. I know what the dates are, but it's let's see what they are when we pull it up. All right, here we go. Waiting 1, 2, 3. All right, let's zoom in there. There we are. That's the dates, and now you can see all those. All right, so here we are. We have got the pole here, and we've got the flag part here. So the pole and flag, and of course, typically the height of here down to the bottom of the flagpole is what we expect the price to break out. But of course, it could last 3 weeks, and so I've got the range coming out this far out. That we could expect a nice little rise in the price. So anywhere along this line here. And of course, we're waiting for that breakout now. It's more probable that it will break out than it will break down. And of course, we do have support here also at 18.6 cents again. But once again, we do want to see, we want to keep those higher lows. We do want to see those higher lows. And we do want to break out of this bigger downtrend here at the moment. But as we zoom out, of course, given the profile that we've had, before, we are expecting a breakout, a big breakout like this. And of course, we know that we've also got fundamentals, so not just TA on our favor. We've got fundamentals in our favor. We have had a few Hex OGs selling into this. This is what's just selling us down into this a bull flag at the moment. And of course, that's where we're looking at the locals there. Otherwise, one might argue that it could be some similar to a bear flag, but I see it as a bit of a bull flag, given the fact that we are waiting for this breakout. And of course, we have fundamentals coming out. So let's actually get the ruler out at the moment. We're going to take out how many days we've got left of PulseX. And of course, we have 9 days excluding today. So today is 10 days, 9 days to go after that. So we're counting it down not far to go at all. So it's going to be pretty interesting to see that play out at this stage. So let's just keep watching the next couple of days. Let's pull up the old DMI indicators, and of course, this is what we want to see. The green direction line going up here, and of course the sellers direction line going down here, and of course the momentum of those directions going up here and getting over 25, so we can get a nice little confirmed uptrend in our price, so we can start get this green uptrend. So that's what we're looking for at the moment. Let's got the wrong one there. Let's pull that one up. And let's hide the highlights at the moment. At the moment, we're not getting that, right? We're not getting that in the chart, so which still means we've got our bull flag still play out a bit longer, at least for another couple of days. So we'll see whether we can get the buyers turning around, just like we saw back here. This was looking pretty positive, but never held up as the bull flag kept going into play. And of course, our momentum is way down here at 12, so that's no good at all at this stage. So that's just giving us the sellers are dominating at the moment. So that's where we want to get reversed at the moment. And so we'll just keep watching this DMI indicator and see whether it gives us any clue of when things are about to turn around. So that's cool. Our RSI, of course, is down here at 46. We've got plenty of room to move up, but that probably might just travel down just a little bit more as we wait for a move to get on. Now we're on 9 days left to go on the fundamentals. So we do have to take the fact that we do probably have a few more days to run out this pattern. That's my guess at this stage. So we'll just keep watching out for that as we head towards PulseX, and we could end up breaking out this bull flag as well. So that's another scenario, and keep going to PulseX, and maybe the whales won't move at this stage. Maybe they'll wait a day or two after the PulseX sacrifice, and then we'll move up. And of course, we're waiting for Pulsechain testnet 3 as well. We've got Pulsechain testnet 2 in the house. I think it's day 65, somewhere around that. That it's been lasting, and of course we need that Pulsechain testnet 3 just to add that next level of oomph or confidence and momentum into the marketplace. So we'll definitely be watching that. The whales will be watching all this stuff, of course, all these indicators, and the key fundamentals play out. And of course, once we're past this PulseX, they may make their move after that time. And of course, we've got to see the origin account coming in this couple last days. The origin count expected to sacrifice, so we're waiting for that too. All right, so that's pretty much that. I got in the turquoise or blue here. We've got possibly the earliest date that PulseX could launch, but that's between the 5th and the 18th of March. But I have a feeling that because Pulsechain's not out yet, and we're still ticking along towards the PulseX end, that we could actually be longer than that. Do I expect a outside scenario where Richard doesn't even do Pulsechain testnet 3? All the testing's done on testnet 2? I don't think so. He's already signaled quite a few times Pulsechain testnet 3, but he could always do that. But once again, you've got to go by the information that you have at hand rather than speculating on a scenario of a surprise. So yeah, we do know the AMM bot's got still got a lot of work to do, particularly back when he said it with the coding being done, and also which dexes can actually be successfully harvested and all that sort of stuff. So there's still quite a bit of work around that. We've got the two coders working on the down incentive, and of course we've got the distribution files as well, and then sitting in behind the back there is PulseX, and then on top of that, of course, we've seen with Pulsechain closing up to 300 million transactions with the validated testing there. So it looks pretty impressive. That's testnet 2 is going pretty well. Minimum viable product's going pretty well. So we'll just have to wait and see. We just need a little bit more information, and that's probably what the market wants to see as well. Just a little bit more moving on to testnet 3 or some other signal that Richard might provide. The other thing, of course, the block height is the key thing, right? Depending on the way that Richard gamifies the block height for the actual airdrop, the biggest airdrop in crypto history, that is the big catalyst, right? People are going to want to accumulate Hex in particular, and or whatever other tokens that they're wanting to get copied over as well. So that's going to be the big catalyst leading into this. So it's really going to be interesting to see how Richard games this. Obviously, the less information, the better, and the more surprises, the better. The market likes that. The market likes those sort of gamifications. Market likes getting taken off guard, and of course, a lot of the retail plebs get left behind. They always come in late as the big money is ready to move fast. So that's something else we're looking for in here. So cool. That's what we're at that moment, and of course, we're sitting at 19.77 cents. I'm pretty pleased with that price at this stage, and I think that's holding up pretty well. Let's jump over to PulseX, but first of all, we do that, we'll get into some of the chats here. And let's make sure I'm up to date. We've got Brendan says, yeah, that's correct. A fork of OpenSea. Yeah, that's right. So Sandy, yeah. So back to that. Yeah, Gerardo's doing that. That's cool. Wish him luck on that one. Sandy Beach says, hey, everybody. Hey, Sandy. Hey, just a big shout out to Sandy. We got 2 new channel members yesterday on Hex Token channel. Sandy was one of them. So a big shout out for that. And very cool. I think we also had, let me just go, Brownie as well was a channel member as well yesterday from memory. So big shout out to both of you and welcome to the chat. Whoop, whoop. I've got to do the bells. For the new channel members. All right, so cool. And obviously get the emojis. So Sandy's got the use of the emojis already, which I do really love the emojis. I think they're pretty cool. And a big shout out to Pulsechain as well. I do want to get a 555, as I keep saying, but I want a nice little simple design, maybe 5555, and just a really standout colors would be cool. So yeah, feel free to hit me up on that. What else? I've got Suspires in there with the emojis too. And Rosati says, I feel like Gerardo would have more success if he launched his sacrifice a month or 2 after Pulsechain launches. Too many competing sacrifices right now. That's the other thing too, right? So at the end of this PulseX sacrifice, we've also estimating that the liquid loans will launch their sacrifice at some stage around here. And of course, that was going to last for 30 days, right? The first 10 days and then the second 20 days in terms of the benefit. So yeah, good luck to him. I mean, he's got a pretty big YouTube channel. He is, he's associated with the Staker app team, probably working with them on a sponsored deal with Hodl Dog. So, good luck to them, right? Good luck. Once again, I'm sure there'll be a degree of success. The fact that there's lots of wealthy Hex skins and potential Pulse skins and PulseX skins out there. So, yeah, it's a no-brainer, right? There needs to be NFTs. I've said this many times on this channel that a lot of people are overlooking the NFT space. But, of course, all the NFT contracts are getting copied over. And it's going to be a frenzy over on Pulsechain and the NFT space, right? And, of course, there's a lot of people that get metadata signals and all that for new NFTs. So it really is quite vibrant and a very big part of the crypto market, right? So, yeah, that's best of luck to Gerardo on that. Brendan Islick says, I sack a little bit just to have my eggs in a few baskets, says Brendan. Yeah, that's true. You got to have a few eggs in the basket. Nice diversified Richard Hart amount of projects, that's for sure. Jay Pond's in the house. Woohoo! Yeah, boy, I made it here. Woohoo! Great to see Jay Pond in the house. And very, very cool. Also, another recent Hex Token channel member. Brownie says, best analytics channel out there. Hey, Brownie, appreciate that. And I'm going to bring a lot more. I'm going to be actually shifting a lot of the content over into more analytical stuff too. So hopefully you guys will enjoy that coming up. But really, we only get to do the PulseX sacrifice once, right? It's running out in 9 days. So I don't really want to miss that. And of course, this is probably the only channel I know that is truly focused on the PulseX sacrifice. So hopefully that's been of great use as well. And plus, it gets a chance for the community to get together and enjoy the PulseX sacrifice process as well. Mindy says, do you think the AMM bot will bring PHEX up to par quickly, or will we might be able to buy cheaper PHEX after the launch? Well, it's hard to know that, Minty. I just think that we're going to have to let the market decide. I don't think people really know that. I think that the PHEX is going to be at a premium to Hex on Ethereum. I think that's probably where we're going to be at the stage. But there is an interesting question about APYs on both chains. And of course, that will actually give a lot of upside to Hex on Pulsechain. So, I probably feel like that's probably being overlooked a bit, the APY competition. I think the retail obviously is going to flood into the Pulsechain. But yeah, they're obviously going to be bonded pairs on the Pulsechain too. But yeah, I definitely think that the market's going to decide that. But I do expect a premium in PHEX. Goldman says, woohoo! Hey, Goldman Hex, nice one. I love the chants there, nice. And it's now in the house with the old emojis. And Tefrin says, let's go, baby, let's go. Nice one, Tefrin. Hey, Tefrin, are you on the chat there? Oh, yeah, cool. Nice one. Man, I've given out, it's great to see so many moderators in the chat as well. Pretty cool. We'll be in and out tonight, says it's now. Hey, you've got to do what you got to do. And maybe it's those Bintang beers, who knows? Hey, Wrench Gang, says Sandy. Yeah, there's a lot of wrenches in there at the moment, so nice to see everybody in there. And really cool. Tefrin says, oh man. Hey, Tefrin, good to see you. And new headphones are picking up the crickets on the background. Hey, yeah, I've actually speaking in the studio. I've actually got the window open. So let me just close the door there, and I'll be back in a second. I'm back. No crickets now. I realize the studio mic's probably picking up all the crickets in the background. It is summer here down under. Obviously, we had to go through the winter while all you up in the north were celebrating your summers and showing great pictures. So at least it's summer down here for sure. Hey, Belly Brand's in the house. Appreciate your work. Big strong arms and a bit of love there. Hey, Belly Brand, big shout back right up to you. And keep up the good work on your channel too. And of course, one of the fine Hexkins in the community. Tefrin says, wrench the man, Bellet Brand, when you can, says Tefrin. If anyone deserves a wrench, it's Brand. And, of course, Sandy says, was it Bellet Brand Getsy or something like that? I'm not actually sure what the acronym means, but CryptoPay says, I'm in love again. The Hex car is just amazing. It is. All right, so very, very cool. Let's jump into that. And let's go add moderator. So there we are, Bellet Brand, you're a moderator now on the channel. So welcome as well. Love the crickets. Haha, I used to have them near me at a pond growing up. It was a great thing to sleep to. Yeah, it's they do go to sleep here at night, so we don't actually hear them at night. Or at least I don't hear them they're probably on at night, but I don't hear them because the door's closed. It's probably the most reason why I don't hear them. Sandy Beach says, good to see you. And good to see you, says Brazzoli. All right, okay, thanks everybody. Yeah, I'm not too familiar with that one, so yeah. Great to see you. Yeah, good to see you. And Brendan says, I got the crickets chirping as well. Very tranquil, says Brendan. Yeah. Probably in New Zealand, Australia, because it's summertime. We're definitely enjoying that. Hey, let's jump over to PulseX. So let's get into the results. We are going to check out the Daytona 500 car. It has been the real car this time, not pictures of its painting job, but the actual real car. So we're going to check that out. All right, so here we are, folks. Let's refresh. We're on PulseX Live now. And, of course, this is our second topic for the live stream. And, of course, $971,485,000 US on the ETH chain of sacrifice. That's a pretty little number there. It's got plenty of digits, and it looks impressive. And it is impressive. It's a very impressive capital raise if you want to look at it that way. Sacrifice rate, 19 hours and 22 minutes through to go, I should say, and 5% increase after that. And, of course, the rate at the moment, 10,000 points per $6.08. So it really is getting up there now. This is the base points. We have the base points, 10,000 points per $6.08. And then, of course, we have the volume multiplier. And, of course, that's running down. We only have about 5 days left of that. So very cool. Now, the base points times the volume multiplier gives you your total points that you're going to get. And, of course, you can see here on the chart, I think we're on day 40. We've just finished day 49. Yeah, I think we're on day 49. And there we are. We've got $6 and $6.08 on 10,000 points there. So really climbing it up. And we only have a few days left before the end of the volume multiplier. Then we've got the flat rate of 1.75 after that. And that's when we're expecting the origin accounts to sacrifice. Let's jump over to the PulseX.info site. Now, if you are wanting to do any late sacrifice here, once again, probably better to just buy some Hex and get a copy of the Hex at this stage and maybe look for some pickup deals on PulseX. Once again, you've got to do your own investment decisions, but that's just a suggestion at this stage. All right, so we've got Ethereum, Binance Smart Chain, Polygon, Matic, etc. These are all Ethereum or Ethereum-based compatible chains, and this is the address that everyone's sacrificing to. And if you want to sacrifice to it, it's as simple as just sending your crypto amount to this wallet if you're on these chains. And, of course, the hash ID, the transaction ID on the blockchain will record your sacrifice to this wallet. And typically, you can do many of the common tokens there, ETH, BNB, Hex, of course, USDC, stable coins, all that good stuff you can do. If you want to send any of this other stuff like Bitcoin, Bitcoin Cash, Litecoin, etc., Tron, you can just follow the instructions step 1 to 3 and get an address to send that to. And, of course, just follow the instructions and you'll be perfectly fine. I always suggest if you're a little nervous, just do a little bit of sacrifice. And if you're happy with that gone through, then do your full total amount that you want to do, whatever that is. So cool. All right. Once again, I would say, though, that you've got to take into account that the price that you need for break even is going to be at least, not at least, at the most, I guess, is 0.000608. Obviously, if you're doing a decent amount of US dollar equivalents, you'll get a bit of a volume multiplier, lowering down that cost price. But just remember, everybody else behind you who already done it earlier is going to get a way cheaper price at 6x at least, around that ballpark at this stage. So just take that into account. you would have to definitely hold on diamond hands. As I said on the video, diamond hands win big X returns, and that is the case. So you got to take that into account. All right, so let's jump over to PulseX leads. This is our main site, and of course we're going to go through this pretty quickly as we move forward. So we got $1,024,000,000 and $12,000 on the sacrifice. This excludes. This is just on Ethereum, Binance Smart Chain, and Polygon Matic. It excludes other chains, Bitcoin, Bitcoin Cash, and other sacrifices there. But we are definitely over $1,050,000,000 in terms of the sacrifice. So that's pretty cool on total. The estimated points for these chains is 17,192,000,000,000 PulseX tokens. This excludes the Origin account. You might want to see it kind of like a public sacrifice amount. Of course, excludes the Origin account, which we are expecting to come in the last couple of days to get the controlling circulating supply, maybe somewhere like 85 to 90%. Something in there. Now we have a total wallets, 133,353 wallets. So that's looking pretty nice. And of course, all these people are early, right? They're the people that are early. When the bridge opens up on the Pulsechain, everyone's going to be wanting to buy tokens that these people hold. That's just the way it's going to be. It's going to be PulseX, and of course, a P-Hex and all the rest of it, or Hex on Pulsechain, however you want to term it. They're all going to be after the tokens here. So it's going to be crazy, man. It's going to be crazy as well. So cool. We've got 7 wallets store over $10 million. That's not changed for several weeks. And of course, they're getting a multiplier of 2.28 or higher. That's just the way it goes. And of course, if we scroll down all the way to our good old friends over at the Magic Carpet Ride pool. That's a group of people around the world that are doing sacrifice together, trying to get themselves a whale volume multiplier. That's a second component, and of course, they're doing a good job of it because they're up at almost 4.3 million US dollars, and of course, they've got a multiplier somewhere like 2.14, 2.15. Pretty outstanding there. Now they're sitting at number 21, spot 2, so they're up with the whales, and they're laughing themselves silly. So a lot of small sacrifices in there. Instead of getting 1.03 or something like that on the multiplier, they're getting over double that. So they are laughing themselves silly for sure. Let's see what they've done in the last wee while. On Monday, they did 2 sacrifices there, $1,800 and $1,400. Their effective value, $310, $250 on that one. But man, oh man, that's a much better deal than sacrificing without this pool. That's just the way to go. Now, I understand that they also have over $1 million for the liquid loans already, and they had a few surprises as well 2 days ago, and I still haven't watched their video, so I'm still a bit out of date with that one. There's so much stuff to keep a track of, and of course sometimes you don't always catch up to it. Let's just scroll down to the top 100. We've got the $1.2 million to get in the top 100, and it's a multiplier of about 1.94 approximately. Let's go down to the top 500. Now remember, there's probably about 112, 113 millionaires that are sacrificed. So it gives you an idea of the number of millionaires, and this excludes Bitcoin and other big sacrifices, though. We've got top 500, 202,843 to get the top 500, and they've got a multiplier of about 1.68, folks, 1.68. Let's go to our final, not final category, second and final category, the 1,000 mark. This is the top 1,000 wallets. You need $101,157 to sacrifice for this, and you get a multiplier of about 1.58. That's just the way it goes. And once again, I say these people, the top 1,000 wallets, will be controlling the vast majority of supply. Let's say call it a super majority, probably well in excess of 70%, maybe up as high as 75%. And of course, that's a good thing because they'll be buying and selling much each other's. But better than that, folks, is when the bridge opens up, people will be wanting to buy all the stuff that these guys have. And many of these players in here, especially some of the whales, will have a very long-term view. They will have the diamond hands for the big X returns. And you're going to get a mixed bag. They're going to get some that would be happy with the 2X, 3X, or whatever they're going to get. And so need to be able to absorb that. That's just the way it's going to go. But of course, we mustn't forget the tokenomics is amazing. The total amount of the tokens at the beginning. And of course, the feed burn, the magical buy and burn is going to be pretty incredible as well, depending on how that is played out too. All right, top 5,000 wallets. Let's go to there. And of course, we're going all the way down to 20,100. So it's gone up a little bit. It's gone up $4, I think, from yesterday, or $30, somewhere like that from yesterday. So 20,100. And of course, that's a multiplier of 1.33. So pretty cool there. That is probably 4 times higher than what we expected. And that just represents how successful this PulseX sacrifice has been. You couldn't get in the top 5,000 with $5,000. You needed 20,000 to do it. So really, really smashed expectations. Really did. All right, let's go up to the tokens now. We've got $556 million on Hex, of course, sacrificed. And that's incredible. If you think about it, you're trying to do that through Uniswap. It's just crazy stuff. You obviously the price go up to the square of the amount that you're trying to buy. And of course, there we are, 2,177,000,000 X off the market. That is just mind-blowing. Maybe around about 7.5%. Very, very cool. And of course, the sacrifice address is really part of that big family with the Origin account. And of course, that behavior so far is not selling. And of course, it's helped support as an operational function, kind of like an operational financial manager, if you ask me. That's my analogy. And of course, they operate for the benefit of the project. They are a feature and a benefit. And of course, because they're going to hold this Hex on Ethereum, they'll also get the copy on the Pulsechain as PRC20s. And of course, that will also be off the market. So that's pretty awesome stuff there. So I love it. I love it. I love it. All right. So here we are, folks. We are getting, now it'd be interesting to know exactly what our circulating supply in the public is. Where is between 4 and 5%. Obviously, we would love to get the circulating supply in the public that's excluding the Origin account down to about 2.5%. That'd be absolutely a beautiful sweet spot. So it's going to be interesting. I'd love to see Gunther, the accountant, do some more updates on that. It would be really cool to see what those percentages and numbers are at the moment. So $244 million US in ETH has been sacrificed. $109 million in USDC, USD Tether 48 million, BUSD 17.5 million. There are top five. Number 6 is BNB at 15.4 million, DAI at 6 million, Matic at 5 million, AVAX at 3.6 million, and Shiba at 3.6 million. They're our top 10. So pretty awesome there. I always like to re-emphasize the two themes, of course, if you're new to this channel. As one is the US dollar amount, including the Pulsechain sacrifice we had back in the 15th of July through to the August. There we also had, when we combined the stable coins, over $600 million. That is kind of like a war chest. No expectations of work of others, but it is one of the many pumpamental potentials in the project. So we have very direct in your face pumpamentals. We also have some potential ones there that look like they will also be in play. But once again, you can't have any expectations. But that's pretty amazing. What other project has that sort of a stable coin war chest, inverted commas, there's no one else out there, right? So it really is a big pumpamental. And it could be used for a lot of different things, a lot of different applications to support value long term. So nice on that. The second theme, of course, we've got a lot of the DEXs already sacrificed. Cake, Uni, Sushi, and Quick, and many others sacrificed. It's a good sort of, as I said, a beachhead there for the yield farmers coming in. Obviously, we're going to have the biggest airdrop in crypto history, but we're also going to have the biggest yield farming in crypto history. And that's going to be huge. Now, we're going to talk more about that later with the yield farming. If you're not familiar with that, we're going to be doing a quick overview of how that works. So just hold on for that. But there are hundreds of thousands of yield farmers out there, folks, that are after the big yields. There's a lot of people that get into NFT trading, speculating NFTs. A lot of people get into yield farming. And, of course, there's a crossover. There's people that do both of those things. But they'll be coming over, folks, for the NFTs. Obviously, Gerardo will be happy with that because that's going to be a booming business for his OpenSea fork there. And, of course, there's going to be booming business for the yield farming with the biggest yield farm in crypto history with the AMM bot running, printing money out of nothing, and of course opening up that bridge, opening up the fiat gateway, and it's party time for all of us. We'll be partying for sure. And of course the incentive token there as well. A lot of people speculating about what's good tokenomics for the incentive token. I'll be interested to see what Richard's come up with around that. So we'll wait and see on that one. All right, so cool. Those are some of the cool themes. Let us jump away and separate the chains. We've got Ethereum at the top 4 there. We've got Binance Smart Chain number 5, 6, and 7. We've got AVAX 10 there, and of course number 16 and number 18 is a Matic, and they're sitting with USDC and Matic, so pretty cool. The other cool thing, of course, is on the Polygon chain. We actually have Hex there. 1.5 million Hex is sacrificed on the Polygon chain. That's a second layer of Ethereum, and of course it is kind of a good guide in some ways for Pulsechain as well. And of course, there's about 7.9 million Hex on the Polygon chain, I should say. And of course, 1.5 million is actually what's that, about 20%, something like that, is actually owned by the Sacrifice wallet now. It's now the number 1 holder on Polygon of the Hex there. So I thought it was pretty cool with the Hex there. And of course, that's $303,000 or $304,000 there. Cool. All right, so that's a nice little insight there. Let us jump over to the current stats and see what the day's results, of course. Day 48. Yeah, so we are in day 49 now. And of course, we've got about 10 days to go. And of course, here we are, day 48, 717,000. That's actually pretty good. Yesterday, we were at 666,000, and the day before 640. So it's nice to see another nice little jump there. You just never can quite predict the way people are going to sacrifice at the moment. So 717 is definitely in play there. And of course, when we finished the day, we were at $1,023,921,000 US dollars. And of course, how are we getting on today for day 49 so far? We're already up to 95,000. So definitely we're on a lower level at the moment. But 95, is there. So we've got another, say, 19, 20 hours to go. So, might be able to 5x that. So we might get 500,000 tomorrow, something like that is what we might reasonably expect. So there we are, the results for day 48. And, of course, we're in day 49. And, of course, we're running through to day 59. And by the time we get to the end of that, we will be at the end here. And, of course, in a couple of days' time, probably about 5-6 days' time, we could see this. You think it's all over? No, the Origin account is expected to come in. And, man, that's going to cause some real excitement as we see that happen as well. Now, I do expect it, obviously, to sacrifice Hex. The reason why is that's simple because if you see the Origin account like the brother and the sacrifice account like the sister, it's a bit like transferring coins over from one to the other. They're all in the same family. It's kind of a way of looking at it. All right, cool. Let's get over to the PulseX sacrifice rates down here. Now, we're going to scroll down to the sacrifice table here and have a look where we're at. Day 49, $6.08. It seems crazy, right? We started off at $1. We had $1 for like 12 days. We were going $1, and we're just slowly been climbing up here and all the way up now. We've been going all these days we've been covering. It's crazy. It feels like a long time just scrolling through this numbers, but we've actually we've covered this live every day. And of course, here we are on day 49 and $6.08, and we're just about into the volume multiplier period. We've only got these 5 days in front of us after today. Man, oh man, that's just crazy stuff. And it'll be $7.76 by the time we finish with 10,000 points. It's just some crazy stuff. So the $6.08 will get you 10,000 PulseX points. But if you used $1, the dollar equivalent is $1,644. For $1 only get you $1,644. That used to get you 10,000. And now it's only getting you 1644. Really crazy. That's if you're in the low hundreds there with a volume multiplier around about 1. If you've got a volume multiplier around about 1.1, 1.2, this is just indicated, by the way, because this hasn't been updated for a few days, but it does give you a bit of an indication. And that you're looking around about 2,000 points, somewhere in that vicinity, give or take. Just going to remember the last time that was updated. So cool. And let's have a look here on this one. So we've got day after where the volume multiplier finishes. Anything in red here, you're better off not sacrificing. If you haven't sacrificed or you want to top up a bit, you're not really going to move your volume multiplier out from the bottom here. You'd want to just leave it and sacrifice on day 55. But particularly for new people, if you want to pick up a bit of PulseX, day 55 is much better sacrificing. You get 2,147 points at the moment for every dollar. At the moment, you're going to get 1644. So you'll be just better off there with the 1.75 multiplier because you're going to get the prices going up every day. It's finally going to end up at $9.91 on day 59, the last day, but you will get a multiplier of 1.75, which is way better than these multipliers here at the moment if you're not already winning in the game. So take that into account. So your base points are basically costing you way more, basically a 10x times the cost now by the time you get to day 59. But of course, you're going to get a 1.75 multiplier in the last 5 days. So there we are. You can see it actually deteriorates as we go down the last days. It gets down to 1767 there as well. So that's deteriorates, but it's still better if you're only doing a couple $100. Still better than all these days in front of us at the moment. So take that into account. Cool. Hopefully that's been of some instruct there to you, especially if you're looking at doing a small amount of PulseX sacrifice. The other alternatives that you have, of course, is just buying some Hex and getting the copy of Hex on Pulsechain, and then you'll double your bags that way and get it before the price really moves up. Is probably the other way you want to see it, because most of us are reasonably expecting the price to have a rally as we move into Pulsechain. Seems like a no-brainer. It's the biggest event in crypto history, to be honest, if you think about it. It's particularly modern crypto history. So it's going to be pretty massive. The other thing, of course, is that you can then trade or whatever you want to do after that if you pick up some stuff there. So you might be able to buy a dip And that's what we're all looking as well. Is talk about having some dry powder. You might be able to buy a dip in the prices, because we're going to, typical thing, even though everything is magical, it's better than everything. We've got limited supply from the start, only gets smaller. We've got buys and burns. We've got lots of other stuff, super fast, super cheap chain. You own the keys to your coin, all those benefits. The bridge is opening up, all that stuff. There's so much growth happening all over the place. Third-party dApps and everything, NFTs, you get it. It's all there. Yield farming. Matching up ERC20s with PRC20s, all that good stuff. You are going to, have the opportunity to still find dips in the market. There'll still be dips. That's just how markets work. But like I say, I think the fundamentals over the long term are going to be greater than probably anything we've ever seen. It's going to be mad crazy over the longer period of time. So there will be opportunities to buy stuff for sure. And be patient with that. Patience is the key. There for sure. All right, so that's pretty much the PulseX update, folks. Hope you guys enjoyed that. Let's quickly check on the chat here, and then we're going to get into the Daytona 500, or as we like to say, the Hex Toner 500. And Taffrin's got the woohoo! Oh, that's a nice one. And let's see what else. Taffrin says it feels like summertime in California this week. Is that right? Is it quite sunny there? And Greg says they are what? Quesadillas? They're very tasty with the bintang. That is correct. Yeah, I think so. They probably are tasty. And Tin Top says, "What's up, Hexen?" Hey, Tin Top, great to see you in the chat. All in, all nothing, says Solex, absolutely. And Sandy Beach says, "Have a great live stream. Happy to support this amazing channel. I'll be in the replay gang tomorrow." Hey, nice one, Sandy. Great that you could drop in. Young Kim's in the house. Top 10% definitely will be the way to go, I think. Mad gains, absolutely, Young Kim. And BJ AGM says, "I heard we don't pay any tax on future PulseX profits, seeing as though we sacrificed the freedom of speech movement and never invested in tokens. Can anyone confirm this?" Now, BJ, I think you could ask me this on the comments. I did respond to you on the comments on some of the videos, so definitely check that out. But you must take your own investment advice, get your own tax advice. Every jurisdiction is different. There may or may not be opportunity for you to not pay taxes. Depending on where you are, you need to get professional tax advice, and your tax advisor may not have actually seen a setup like this with the sacrifice. It's relatively new, and so just leave that in your court. Just take that into account. They probably have not seen where you sacrifice and the prices start from zero, all that sort of stuff. You need to think about that. There is a disclaimer, of course, on the PulseX site. So if you go to the bottom, it's probably well worth you reading the disclaimer at the bottom here. You click on that. You should probably have a look through this in detail as well before you talk to your tax accountant. Solex says, "If I knew that Magic Carpet had a pool to sacrifice, I would sacrifice with them," says Solex. Yeah, it's true, but it is a trusting relationship. Of course, you are trusting a couple of guys. They do look very genuine and all the rest of it. But once again, it is a trust thing. It's not on the blockchain. It's not trustless on the blockchain. Just take that into account. Brandon says, "Superman, I have a hashtag 555 member emoji for you. What's the best way to get it to you?" Probably on the email which I've forgotten what it is now. I think it's Hex Token 2030 at Gmail. Hex Token 2030 at Gmail. I think that's what it is. Otherwise, hit me up on Twitter with a DM me on there. That'd be perfectly good there, Brownie. Just let me know it's you, of course. Tavern says, "I bet more than it's AZ." All right, so Mr. A says, "Whales only." I suggested in Rag Richard that incentive token should be some sort of stable coin thoughts. Yeah, I just don't see that at all, Mr. A. A stable coin needs to be backed by something. So I just don't see that one at this stage. So yeah, I didn't actually think that idea was that great. But this idea is better through a third-party debt like liquid loans. Richard, of course, has been wanting to do a stable coin, but that's going to be quite separate. So we'll see what Richard comes up with behind that. But it's got to be backed by something, right? I think the idea of fractionalizing a stable coin is one thing, but once again, there's nothing unless you make the incentive coin backed by something. It's going to have to be the case. But you also want to earn a yield off the coin. So if you're not earning a yield off coin, you want to be able to cash some of it in to spend it somewhere else. So I think those two things have to be part of it. Yeah. King Tone says, "Not a bad idea, honestly," says King Tone. Charity said, "Soon the sacrifice will finally be over," says Charity. It will be. We are counting it down. The last 10 days. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And Prasad says, "Imagine if the OA took a bunch of Hex and locked it into a smart contract and that made stable coins." Yeah, that's probably the idea. Prasad is on the right one with that one. And let's go and smash the like. Says what's not on the news. Definitely smash the like, hit the subscribe button, folks, for sure. And the Nef Star says, just got another bag. Let's go. Woohoo! A nice one. I love it. And BJM says, Richard Hart said that there won't be auto buy and burn anymore because it will require more power than the blockchain can handle. Those were his words. Yeah, well, the thing is, we're going to have a magical buy and burn instead, BJM, and I think that's going to be better. I think a magical buy and burn will be better, even though it's a magical one. Your Twitter account says Brazology. Yeah, use the Twitter account. That's probably a good idea. All right, cool. Let us jump into the next thing, of course. Here we go, folks. Rev your engine. I don't even know if that's a good car noise because it sounds pretty crap to me, but here we are. There we are. So here we are. This is from A-Bit, of course, in the 555 tour. And I love this here. Quit my job to be a full-time Hexkin in February 21. Was financially free. Since then, Hex made 40x. Started the crypto spuck 555 tour Hex Daytona. Hextona 500. So nice one there from A-Bit, of course. One of the two big hosts on there. Here is the screen here. Look at this, man. This is crazy cool. Look at this car. This is the real thing. This is not a match up here. Look at that. And, of course, it's a little bit dizzy. Makes you a little bit dizzy. But look at that car. Looks fantastic. Look at that thing. It's amazing. 555 hex.com. Hex.com on the front. And, of course, looks beautiful to sing in real life. And that's going to be racing pretty shortly. So, man, oh man, I'm calling a Hex pump. This beast is absolutely disgusting. Nice one. So that's the car. Looks pretty good. So let me know in the chat what you think of that car, man. That looks pretty badass as well. And a big shout out to A-Bit, who A-Bit and that they're out doing that 555 tour. Man, they've just been amazing at that. And of course, they refined the presentation so well to onboard new people. And so a big salute to them. I mean, they're just crazily good. Those Hexkins out there, A-Bit. So nice one. All right, but that car looks fantastic. Look at that thing. It's going to stand out too with the black. I love the black with the bright colors because really going to make stand out. And of course, that brings us up to some of the stuff we've got. So this is UTC time, I believe. Practice is on the 15th is the practice race. It's going to be on Fox Station Channel 1. And that's going to be at 5:05 p.m. and 6:35 p.m. Then on the 16th, they're going to have the single car qualifying on Fox Station 1. It's going to be at 7 o'clock and then, at 8:05 for the single car qualifying time on the 16th. That's the key. So there are 36 cars that have basically in. There's 40 spots, 36 cars are in. There's 6 cars vying for 4 spots. And, of course, we want our driver, JJ Yellen, to be in those top, preferably win that race there and have the fastest times on the single car qualifying. And of course, that's 4 laps, I believe, 4 laps to do that. And of course, we want them to have the fastest time on that. Cool. And then, of course, that could give us really good news if we find out that we are in the one of the 2 top out of the 6 there. And then on the 17th, if we don't get the top speed on that one racing track, then we've got the qualifying races on the 17th. And of course, it's going to be on Fox Station 1, and of course, at 7 and 8:45 respectively, give or take. And of course, we have to win that. Otherwise, we have to win that, relatively speaking, to get those top 4 spots. So obviously, I think it's 2 from the fastest race, and then there's 2 more spots left after the qualifying race. I believe that's the case, and therefore 2 cars will miss out. 2 cars teams will miss out. Don't forget, it's our driver. Plus, we've got a teammate also in there as well, competing as well. So hopefully, we're gonna win the day on that. Should be pretty cool. Let us know in the chat if you've heard anything else. But that's kind of the wrap up. Then on the 18th, they've got a practice. It's going to be on Fox Station 1, and of course 6 p.m. And then on the 19th, the final practice, Fox Station 2, 10:30, Fox Station 1 at 11 o'clock, and then finally on the 20th, Daytona 500. Fox is on the 20th, so that's the big race on the 20th of February at 2:30 p.m. on Fox. So that's pretty awesome. So the 16th and 17th is the big time. For us, that's when we're going to find out whether we are going to get in to those top 40 slots. 42 cars, team cars at this stage, in for 40 spots. Now, I don't know if there's been any late entries. Not sure what the cut qualifying at this time, but 42 was the number for 40 spots. That leaves 2 that will miss out, and it's not going to be us. It's not going to be us. Let's go. All right, so that's pretty cool on that. Some of the other drivers, of course, that we've got again up against. We're up through against. Jackie's number 27, Greg Biffle at 44. Floyd Mayweather's car, this is at number 50, Kaz Grella. And we've got Noah Craigson at number 62. and Timmy Hill, which is our teammate for JJ Yellen. The teammate is number 66, and of course we're number 55, as you can see in the car. 55, pretty awesome. So yeah, we've got to beat those fellas. Imagine if Timmy and Yellen both got in, and then maybe we've got to, whatever we do, we have to beat Floyd Mayweather's car, right? This is the way it has to be. We have to beat the winner. We have to beat the winner. And of course, really, Hex is the true easy money, right? Hex is the true easy money, and not the Floyd Mayweather one. I'm just kidding. I mean, he's obviously a legend, but you get my point. That's just the way it goes. And nice, yeah. So JJ Yelly, here we go, JJ Yelly. So nice on that. I think that was about it on there. Yeah, so looks good for us so far. So I think it's pretty nice. Let's have one more look at this car. We can move your head down to the tire. And I don't know. I guess it's kind of cool shot. Anyway, let me know what you think of that. Brazogi says 26. It will still be a buy and burn, but it will just be manual. It will build up some until someone else pays the small fee, releases those funds. Crypto thoughts on Hedron. Yeah, Hedron's okay. We did an overview of Hedron. It's a bit like being able to put your never having to sell your Hex and use that market. We'll see how that goes. It's a crypto thing. I haven't need to do a deep dive on that one. I realized that I think they're launching on the 26th, I think, something like that, of February. So I need to get onto that if I'm going to cover that soon. And Brazil says that car looks fast. It does look fast. I think it's going to really stand out too. Let's go for a win, man. Let's go for a win. It'll be so good to see the Hex car just going around and around and around. And of course, the driver is very good and could, anyone's chance to win there. You want to get in early, of course. If we get into the later races, I don't know if that's what you want to be in. You want to get in earlier, I think. What time is the magical buy and burn? We don't know. So that's what I mean. We've talked about a couple of strategies that they could do. They could do create parabolic rises with the magical buy and burn. They could do what whales buy at the dips when there's been a lot of sell-off. There's lots of things they could do. Some more regular time-based magical buy and burn BGM. There's a couple of options there to really help the price of PulseX. Brazogi says, I'm going to be photoshopping Pulsechain logos on Mayweather's car. He has the Pulsechain gradient. A nice one, Brazogi. And it looks wins. The Hex car is going to blow the other's way. Vroom, vroom. Yeah, well, Floyd Mayweather's car is really busy. We looked at that the other day. The paint job's nice, but it's just very busy. Whereas our one's got that nice black on it, which really makes things pop big time. So I really love that part. Brendan says we could be up against the Mayweather car in qualifying. That would draw a lot of attention alone. Hey, Brendan, that's a fantastic observation. And his son's invested into a Hex as well. Oh, really? Is that right? Okay. So, yeah, that would be awesome. That would be awesome, wouldn't it? That would be so good because that would really shine on that. I love it. That's going to get a lot of press, right? There's at least 4 or 5 famous people's cars in there in the race. So I think that'd be huge. Young Kim says Dogecoin car crashed, if I remember correct. Lol. And Dingo Wolf said, go JJ. Yeah, absolutely. Go JJ. And Francie's in the house with the hello. Nice one there, Francia. Welcome to the chat. Of course, don't forget to get in the chat, folks. We love a lively chat. And if you haven't subscribe, like, share, hit the bell. Very, very cool. Let's get on to the next one, Force. We're going to look at a bit at yield farming in terms of providing how it works and stuff like that. We're just going to do a quick overview. So if you're on Uniswap here, typically is where you trade. You buy and sell your swap tokens. 1 ETH at the moment will buy of 3,000. 1 ETH is $3,000, and of course that was going to buy you 15,202 Hex at the moment. So that's kind of what you do when you swap. If you've got sufficient funds, you can confirm that. This is just a demo account, so this has got no funds in it. But it's this is the one we use for testing and Pulsechain stuff. So, but that's the idea. The gas fee at the moment is indicating $16.38, and of course it's routing through version 2 there. And of course there's a fee there of 0.03. That is the fee that people get. Right, so 0.3%. If you're providing funds to the pool, you will be getting a 0.3% of the fees that get charged, or you get your proportion of that fee, which is 0.3%. That's what they charge people to swap, right? So that excludes Ethereum fee, of course, just the fee for the pool, and that's how that works. So I want to buy some Hex of 1 ETH. That's what I'm going to get, 15,301. But maybe you want to earn that fee. Instead of you paying that fee, you want to earn that fee. well, you need to provide ETH and Hex into the pool for version 2. So you need to do that. So let's have a jump over to some of that. Of course, this is the Uniswap pools. It's got all the pools down the bottom here. But if we go to Uniswap version 2, you want to add the pool here. So if you're on the swap part, you just click pools over here. So you might do that. And of course, this is going to add a new pool position. This is Uniswap version 3. But of course, if you wanted to use Uniswap version 2, this is what this looks like. So this is version 2 here, providing liquidity in the pool. So if you did 1 ETH, it would offer, and we saw that the price was, that's what it's going to be, the same as the swap here. But let's say I did 10 ETH, I'd have to provide the same amount of Hex. So that's what's going to be. So if I did $30,000 of Hex of ETH, I'd have to provide $30,000 of Hex, and that total would be $60,000, right? $10,000 worth of ETH. Sorry, $30,000 worth of ETH and $30,000 of Hex is $60,000. So that's the way it's going to be. It's got the price pools here share. That would be a 1.29% of the share of the pool, which is pretty cool. And I've got here the rates at the moment. So these rates are very important because the rates will change over time. And what you put, the value that you put in it today may face what they call impermanent loss, which means that the values will change over time, which is just natural with markets, demand, supply, and all that sort of stuff. And of course, you could face a loss on that or a gain. You can face impermanent gains as well. So just take that into account. So that gives you a percentage of the share pool that you're going to get. And of course, if there's a 0.3% fee charge, that's what you're going to get. Once you do this, of course, if you confirmed it, and it would debit the money. So it would debit 10 ETH from your account, and it would also debit the 153,673 Hex from your account. So that's in total $60,000 going to debit from your MetaMask wallet or whatever you're using. And that's what you're going to get. So how do they represent that once you've done that? You put that funds in the pool. People are going to buy and sell in the pool. You own 1.29% of the assets in version 2 of Uniswap there. Well, what they do is they give you pool tokens. These are called LP tokens or liquidity provider tokens, and tokens automatically earn fees proportional to your share of the pool. So we know that the fee is 0.3% of the pool. And of course, if you own 1.29%, you'll get that share of 0.3% of the fee. So that's just what you're going to get there. And you can see how that works. So, but on the hand, that's sort of your, that's what the amount of fees you're going to get. But of course, your capital value will go up and down. That's kind of your impermanent loss. Your capital will go up and down. And maybe that's too much for you to work out what that is. So what you can actually do is that once you've actually gone here, you can actually go to a service like APY.vision. And of course, you can connect your wallet in there. You can then find pools that you're in. And of course, you can add your pools. You can add your LP tokens into here, and it will actually monitor all that for you. It will tell you what your profit and loss is, what your impermanent loss is. Obviously, it's indicated, but it will give you an idea. It will tell you how much fees you've earned, all that sort of stuff as well. So, you can do that too. So it's pretty cool. And of course, you can get memberships as well. And of course, APY is also on the blockchain. So that's just the way it works. So you can see all the pools here on Hex. It tells you certain factors about them. You can see volume here, and of course liquidity in the pool. You can see the VR here, so this is a pretty cool one. You can see the fees over the last 24 hours have been $4,000. So if you got 1% of that, you're going to get 1% of $4,000 or 3,800 here. You're going to get 1% of that, so $380 you'll get of this if you had provide $60,000. That's just on a 24-hour basis. Obviously, you're going to get that fees every day, and of course, the more that's going through the pool, the more you're going to make, right? This is the way it's going to go. First year fees, reserves since inception, 39%. So that's what it's had since inception. And of course, the impermanent loss in the last 24 hours has been $13. So it gives you a kind of cool idea there of how this works. And of course, the pool age as well, how long it's been around. And of course, you can find more info there as well. It's got the benefits over the last 7, 14, and 30 days. Pretty cool on that. And of course, there's more info in that as well, so you can actually go and find more details on that as well. So cool, look at that, total reserve, etc. So you get lots more details about how it all works. You got the Hex price, the USD price, how it's changing, and impermanent losses, of course, giving you indication, stuff like that. So it's pretty cool, and it will actually give you the details. So that's a good way of monitoring your pools. And of course, if there is a yield farming opportunity like PulseX might have, then you will be able to might be able to get an incentive token. So it's going to work, pretty similar over on Pulsechain, but you'll have the incentive token, whereas here you just have the fee. You just have the 0.3 fee that you're getting on every transaction, your share of. Whereas if there is a LP incentive token, you can actually take your LP tokens, which are sitting in your wallet, and you can actually put those into a yield farming pool and earn nice, sweet rewards that are typically pretty big, generally speaking. And you could lock those up for different periods of time. So that's pretty much how that works. But the cool thing about APY Vision is you can actually monitor your pool provision. So that does all the work for you. You don't have to think too much about it. You can log in as a pro, of course. I think you have to hold a certain amount of tokens, APY tokens or something, and you can do that too. So cool. So it's pretty nice. It's APY.vision, APY.vision. And I will leave that in the video description afterwards. But it's pretty much how you run that on. That's Vision 2. Vision 3, of course, is a bit different. You can select your token there. Let's type in Hex, and we can put that in there. And of course, ETH, it's got the fee here. Now, you can do a lot more different stuff on here. V3 is a lot more different. You can just do one side of the pool. You can do change your fee. You can edit the fee that you're going to charge, 1%. Typically, most people just do 0.3%. Of course, you can set up different liquidity ranges here. You can see the prices change. It's a bit more complicated, but you can provide liquidity on this as well. So stuff that you can do there. You can switch the prices around, all sorts of stuff. So this is a bit more difficult, but typically Uniswap 3 is a bit easier to follow because it's just basically one on each side. You need to have, if you have one Ether here, you'll have to have 15,343 Hex on this side, the same value, whereas Uniswap offers a lot of different stuff. There's a curve, and you can sit along that curve range, which is kind of represented by this chart here. So it's pretty much the overview of that. And of course, the easy part, of course, just using APY allows you to just monitor it super easy. It will read your wallet and know what LP tokens you've got and have the start date of when it happened. And we'll show you profitability over time. It's pretty neat charts. There's lots of charts I haven't shown you on here once you do that, but it is pretty cool. All right, so that is the way we're going to go there. That's just an overview to providing funds in the pool, and of course earning that 0.3% fee. Obviously, at PulseX, it's going to be pretty amazing. People getting into the incentive token, earning that as well, providing funds. So it's going to be pretty cool. All right, cool. Let us jump away. That was just a bit of intro there. And hey, we've got that bot deleted by. It's now. Well done. It's now. And like it up. So yeah, absolutely like it up for sure. So there's a bit of an introduction there to obviously using Hex as an example. And of course, we're going to jump over to Ethereum here, and we're going to get into the history of Ethereum. So the main video topic of today was Diamond Hands win big X returns. So Diamond Hands win big X returns. And of course, this is what we've got Ethereum, right? Ethereum way back here, we're back at 23rd of May, 16. So obviously, every project has its own journey. But if you think about all the fundamentals that Pulsechain has, PulseX has, Hex, of course, in one place, we're looking at probably the greatest thing ever in crypto. It's going to be awesome, at least in modern times. It's going to be absolutely mind-boggling, and it's going to create a huge hurdle for any other project to do better. But here's what we had the journey. 2016, people had to go. The price was around about $13.60. We had lots of things happen here. We've got even a response to a DAO hack. There's lots of cool stuff on here, and as we move through time into 2016. Lots of stuff happened. So much stuff happened in the early days of crypto here. I call this early days because it really was a lot of development stuff was happening here. A lot of projects were pumping up into 2016, 2017. And so lots of stuff happened. But you can see how the price of Ethereum just starts rocketing, even from here back in March 2017. So if you're just let's assume that you even had a relatively lower period here where we're just tricking along at these low prices. Let's assume we even had that. It's really, if you'd sold out during here, you would have missed out on the opportunities, right? And that's the main point, is that if you want to get the big X returns, you got to wait your time out. So here we are, May 17th, and we start rocking it up. We go from $13 where we started, and we start getting up to, by June 17, up to $400, So if you got to hold through here, right? And of course, then the price went down. So you can either sell at the top by luck, and then of course sell here, and then buy back here. But that's trading, right? That's trading. So otherwise, you could just hold the diamond hands. Instead of trading it out here, you might have got locked out of the market. Maybe you sold down here, and you thought it was going to go down further. And of course, then it goes back up, and you go, oh, I'm stuck. And of course, then you've got to keep going, right? And so then, of course, you sell out at $400. But then, of course, by the time we get to January 2018, it's back up at $1,388, right? And you sold back down. You sold back down here. You sold down at $161. So you missed out again on that. So you sold out, and here it is back up at 1388, of course. And then, of course, it went down to bear markets. You keep selling down here. You're getting out. You're getting out. You're getting out. But maybe you don't buy back in. Maybe you don't buy back in. Gets very bearish during this time. We all know that we were all there for 2018. It was a very bearish time, and of course it kept lasting. Was it 2.5 years or something? Just kept going. And of course here we are. You would be bear, and it's fair enough, right? You got no diamond hands, maybe not even in the market, and of course, but once it starts taking off here, we're at $132 by March 2019, and then we start rallying up here. It goes up to $3.33 Ethereum, by June 2019. And it pulls back. But did you sell? Did you not sell? What was the Hex Godwell during this time? Was Hex Godwell just sitting there? Hex Godwell was just sitting there, right? Genesis was just holding on through all this stuff, through all of it. The Hex Godwell hold on. And, of course, the Hex Godwell is super wealthy now, right? And, of course, we went stuck in here for a long period of time, and so here we are. Now we're in December 2020. And, of course, we're at $600. We're still not as high as we were at 1388. Back at that was a January, October 2018. And then, of course, the price starts really rocketing up here, and we get up to $4,000 here by May 21. So now, instead of $13, if you'd sold right at the back at $13 at the beginning, you would have not have gone all these gains, right? So you would have missed out. You would not have had diamond hands, and you wouldn't have got this $4,150 back up here, right? And then you've got to go through all the stuff. So all these other things around here, all showing some of the major things that are happening during this time in the time zone. And, of course, just showing you need diamond hands. So there we are. So that's what's going to happen there. And, of course, the market's going to keep going. Now $3,000 at the moment, of course. And then back here in November 21, it was up at $4,600, $4,700, $800. So that's just the way it goes. And we have all these events here, that we see in these circles, shaking people out, competition coming into the marketplace, regulatory threats, all this sort of stuff. But of course, we go right back in time here. You've got to keep the diamond hands, of course. And this is what Pulsechain is copying. It's copying Ethereum. And man, is it going to be awesome or what? But who are you going to be? Are you going to be one of these ones here that sell down early? Are you going to be one of these ones? So let's say $12. I mean, it's not going to be quite like this, but if you say $12, are you going to be that, or are you going to be the one that holds the diamond hands like the Hex Godwell? And then you've got this portfolio where you're sitting up at $4,800, right? Instead of $12, $4,800, and you're sitting there with the diamond hands, you're going to get the big extra tens. So if you think that Pulsechain, PulseX, and Hex has just the holy grail, the best of everything, the total supplies at the beginning, deflationary buy and burns, the full chain copy of Ethereum code works well, validators, staking pools for Pulse, all that sort of stuff, super cheap, super fast, the fastest way to mass adoption through the bridge and through the fiat gateway, awesome third-party apps like Liquid Loans and potentially forks of OpenSea and all those sort of things on it, then keep the diamond hands. And you might have to go through a few rough patches, but with all that good stuff, the best of everything. And we've had all these years of Ethereum to see what works and doesn't work. And now we've got it all sitting in one place. Come on, salute yourself, salute Richard Hart. That's all I've got to say. So it's going to be pretty epic because that's what I mean. All these years of learning. So there's two lessons there, isn't there? Diamond hands. And then the second thing is all the lessons of all these past years with all these different things, variables happening, have now been culminating in the launch of Pulsechain, PulseX, and of course Hex on Pulsechain. It is just a game changer. And everybody here is here early. You're all here early. And of course, you're going to see Vitalik's crying. He's going to be crying once, of course, Pulsechain's up and running. And of course, it's if there was ever going to be an Ethereum killer, it's Pulsechain, right? If it's ever Ethereum killer, it's Pulsechain. Not just a vampire attack, but an Ethereum killer. But not just Ethereum, possibly many of the other chains, especially some of the ghost chains, absolute massacre. But hey, let's pump the bags. Let's keep the X's. There's diamond hands. That's just the way you want to go. So I think it's pretty cool, this sort of stuff. So just take that into account. Now, the only thing, of course, that I think that we've got in the future is the monetary supply. So we're just going to keep watching that. So the only sort of wild card I see at this stage. I don't see geopolitical risks really being the biggest issue. But I really think that the biggest issue is the monetary issues with the Fed. That's probably the biggest thing at this stage. So there we are. That's the only wild card I see at this stage. So cool on that. Right, I hope you enjoyed that one. Yeah, diamond hands. I hope that chart there says a lot. And of course, I actually might post this in the chat there if you want to check this chart out for yourself. And bam, let's have a look at that. Boom. There we are, folks. There's the chart if you want to check that out. I have a look at that one there, and let me find out where I was up to. I think got up to there. So we could jump up here. We got Vincex. If looks win, the Hex car is going to blow the others way. Absolutely vroom vroom. And Brendan says we could be up against the Mayweather car in qualifying, so that would be draw. Yeah, that's right. And Dogecoin, I think I got up to those. Oh yeah, SKB's in the house. Woohoo! Hey, $10 super sticker. Appreciate the SKB. Big shout out. Also, SKB, first member on the Hex Token channel. Big shout out to you for that. So appreciate on both the accounts. And it's nice to see you in the chat today as well. And it now says delay your gratification. It gets better in time. It does. So yeah, just be careful of this trading aspect as well, is what I'd say. Nice 10 spot SKB. Yeah, it was pretty good. So a big shout out SKB there. And in Aussie dollars too. So Australia, representing Australia. She'll be right, mate, as they say. What do I say? Aussie, 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 oi, 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 Aussie, 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 oi, 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 Aussie, oi, Aussie, oi, Aussie, 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 oi, oi, oi. That's how they say. It's the old Aussie chant there. I think there's a Kiwi one too, but I just always forget what it is. That's funny, eh? There's a Kiwi chant, but I don't remember it. Let me know in the chat if you remember the opening words, because that would probably refresh my mind. So there we are, folks. And if you want that the XBY vision for the pool, if you've got a pool fund that maybe you're not monitoring, maybe you've already in a pool, you can check that out too on APY Vision. There is the link in the chat there. Young Kim says, what was the website for Hex future price prediction? What was the website for Hex future price prediction? I'm not sure which one you're referring to, Young Kim. On that, not sure what you're referring to with that. All right, so that's pretty much it. Hey, we're up to an hour and 11 minutes. We're doing pretty good. So if you've got any questions in the chat, let me get to that. So feel free to pop away. We're going to put the chart back there at Hex. We've got 19.6 cents at the moment. Let's go to the hourly chart. Get rid of all the stuff there. So hey, we've got to finish with a green candle. You know how we roll on this channel. We've got to have a green candle for sure. That's what we're going to do. So let me just jump over to PulseX. Just going to refresh on the leaderboard there. And we had a 1.124 billion. And yep, just it looks pretty similar to what we had before. So that's where we're at. Let me know in the chat there if you've got any questions. Let's go as well. Just looking at the NASCAR there. Going to pull this up here. So, all right. So, let's have a look at some of the stuff. If there's no questions there. Oh, we've got a question. What's how much ETH will we need for the future to in-stake the eHex? Well, obviously, the S-load function it just keeps looping around. And of course, the longer that you stake, the higher that's going to be over time. That's why Pulsechain is so fundamental. That's also why ETH 2.0 is fundamental too. So we still want ETH 2.0 to come along, and we definitely want it to lower the S-load function. I actually think that they should also be petitioning the Ethereum group with the S-load function, try and get that down, a bit of pressure on them, because obviously they've done it. They think they've done it to rationalize the capacity of the ETH chain. And of course, unfortunately, the S-load function people are the ones that end up paying the price for the use of that function. Some contracts, of course, have got around using the S-load function, so people are innovating on the programming side. But yeah, it's definitely going to go up. So if you're doing, let's say you get a GUI of about $40, I think that the fee for unstaking will cost you probably about $70-$80 if you had a 40 GUI. So let's say you had 80 GUI, it's going to be getting up there $150 or something like that. So it's just going to keep going up the higher that GUI is. So you definitely, typically Sundays are cheaper, 1 to 3 a.m. UTC time on Sundays are cheapest for gas typically, but not always. But in the future, obviously, it's going to slowly get higher and higher. You got to take that into account. Aussie Watt says ladder 2 to 10 years, stakes yearly, and then 15 years. Yeah, that's right. So I like that, Aussie Watts. I think that's very good. I'm big into a staking ladders. As I said, I'm also into sacrifice ladders as well, and that applies for liquid loans, right? Because they're doing 3 components. The third component is going to be longer pays better. So up to that 2 years. So thinking about that, because you want flexibility, right? You don't want to. There's lots of variabilities coming around. The other thing that you may not have seen is that beginning of last year, over the last 18 months, the Federal Reserve has been typically they print about 4 or 5% of new money supply. They've been printing like 14, 16% over the last 18 months, and that's just ludicrous. So this is why I said this is really the wild card. And as though it might be boring to many people, it is actually the biggest wild card out there that people need to be aware of. The fact that the Fed is really boxed in and inflation's rising and stuff like that. So it really is quite a material item that we now have to face after, 13 years or so. So it's definitely something we have to think about as a wild card up there and be, keep informed about. So that's why I've been covering it the last couple of weeks in particular. Cool. So hopefully that helps with the fee there, but obviously the fee's going to, as time goes on, it should get bigger. But what I'm saying is also there are some benefits. Of course, Pulsechain is going to actually help Ethereum. It's going to actually help hopefully take the congestion out of the market. Obviously going to take demand from the NFT market, especially if Gerado's got something to do with it. And then, of course, we've also got the fact that you'll be able to do a lot of the smart contract stuff, staking and all that sort of stuff, super cheap and super fast on Pulsechain. And it's going to be a layer one, so people are going to feel really safe with that. As people get into crypto more and more, they realize their security is much more important. And of course, they want to own their keys to their coins. So it's definitely a big deal, and they want code that works, is reliable. Doesn't get easily breached. Oswald says, "Is it worth holding a few $100s in ETH now to cover the later end stake process?" Sure. It's a reasonably good strategy there, Oswald. Just to keep holding that in your wallet, just leave it there. You could even you can open up another wallet and just put in the funds there, as long as you don't lose the keys. You can create a second wallet and just put the fees in there for a later day. And watch the price adjust for that. That might be something quite good. This now says also depends on the price of ETH at the end stake. Could be quite crazy high. We will see, but use some of your profits you copied and stake on Pulse to pay the end stake fees on ETH. Yeah. And the other thing is, if you are doing new stakes, you can think about using Staker app, using the smart wallet there. That might give you a few options as well using a smart wallet. So that could be an option for you. So check out Staker app on that. The link's in the video description if you haven't got that. Over 100,000 Hexkins have already got that. Oswald says, okay, that makes sense. I'll buy more Hex then. You're going to get a copy of your Hex on the Pulse chain. So if you've got Hex on Ethereum, you'll get a copy on the Pulse chain. And the Pulse chain really is designed to deal with that problem as well. And of course, we know who controls the S-load function on that code, right? No expectations from the work of others, but we know who controls the things. Whereas we didn't control on, Vitalik. They kept on lifting the S-load function, and of course that impacts. It was just a silly move. It was really just a stupid move, but that's what they did. And the only argument for it is around capacity. I don't even know if that's a good argument, but that's what they did. Charity says, sometimes I wonder if things will be so different in 15 years, we won't be able to pull out stakes. Maybe ETH is gone or something happens. Well, they have got a 6-year roadmap for ETH 2.0, and they are doing sharding. They will get the TPS is probably the biggest issue. So, originally the goal was 100,000 TPS. Maybe they'll hit 10,000 TPS, right? But we've got chains out at the moment that are already doing, 5, 10, 15,000 or more TPS. We've got what I call blockchain 3s out there. We've got Phantasma chain out there doing 5,000 with side chains on each chain. I mean, it's just, there's lots of solutions out there that are well ahead of these things. So the issue with them is that they take time to get the number of users up, right? That's just the issue. Not in the shine light there. So now says things that will be very different in 15 years. I think Charity Dunning. That's why no admin keys are so vital on any chain. That's true too. And Greg says Staker will pay the end stake gas fee out of your Hex. Yeah, that's true. So that Staker app will pay the end stake gas fee out of your Hex if you're using the smart wallet inside of Staker app. So that's another way of looking at it. If you didn't have any ETH in there, good point there, Craig. 2 awesome comments from Greg. I wish they had a little reward thing inside the chat there. What's this little star? I'm not even sure what this star is. What's that star? I'm not sure what that is. The little star there. I'm not sure what the star is, but that's I just touched it there on the studio. Hey, we're up to 19.75 cents. We're almost in a red candle. on the Hex thing. We actually last hour was it the last hour? No, yeah, last hour we had a green candle. We just got a red candle, but we are getting back up there. Can we get up to 20 cents on the live stream? We're coming up to about an hour 20 here, looking good. Hey, special shout out, of course, to SKB for the super sticker. I really appreciate that. Thanks for the support to the channel, and of course was the first ever Hex channel member. Big shout out to you. Very, very cool. And it's been a little while since you've been in here, SKB, but great to see you back. That's for sure. All right, so there are, folks. That is where we're at the moment. So hope you guys have enjoyed it. We didn't end up with a red candle, but we're pretty close. We're pretty close to a red candle, green candle, I should say, on the hourly there at 19.75. Still holding up fairly well in my view. So I'm pretty happy with where it's at this stage. Hope you guys have enjoyed this one. Feel free to subscribe, like, share, hit the bell, of course. And if you haven't joined as a channel member, hit the join button. We've got PulseX, Hexkins, Richard Hart Club. Man, we're only getting busy. I mean, in 10 days' time, PulseX will be Sacrifice will be over, and of course, Pulsechain Testnet 3 must be around the corner there. Things are ramping up. We will have a lot of fun with that. Liquid Loans, of course, is due. Hedron is due as well. 26. We've got the NASCAR 500 coming up. We've got the big 96 online hour funding gym sessions going on with Richard, and it's going to be a lot of fun. There's so much stuff coming up, folks. We're going to have a good time for sure. Brendan says, great stream. Bye all. Hey, thanks, Greg. Thanks, Brendan, I should say. Thanks for watching. Let me just post it. If you're a Hex Token channel member, post some emojis out on the way out, because it's going to be a lot of fun. Let us go. Let's hit some of those emojis for sure. And actually, I'll talk about that tomorrow. All right. Bam, 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 bam. Bam, 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 bam. Oh, there we are. All right, there's some emojis, folks. That's how we roll. And good one on that one. It's now says staker app. A staker paying your gas fee from your Hex means it's another layer risk. Not a fan. Take care with your own funds. The way Hex is designed. That's right. So here's some little emojis, folks. Take care out there. See you guys tomorrow. Onwards and upwards. I'm sure it's going to go green at the hourly chart after I'm off the live stream this time. All right, take care now. Bye for now. See ya.